Hi, welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Hi, Joanne.
Hey.
So what should we cover tonight?
Well, I have a customer that I billed for tax and I shouldn't have. How do I handle that?
Okay, that happens. Really, you need to wipe that first invoice.
Okay.
If it's in the current period, you can void it, and then there's an easy way to just rebill it. You can just void it, go into one of the inquiry screens, highlight it, copy it, and just rebill it.
Okay. Well, what happens if it was in a prior period then? What do I do?
If it's in a prior period, you really don't want to void it. You want to issue credit, and you really should issue full credit. It'll be as if you're voiding it, but issue full credit in this period and then just rebill it in this current period. The net effect will be the tax amount.
Okay.
So there won't be any impact on sales. You'll credit the full amount of sales back, rebill it for that same sales amount. The difference, of course, would be the tax amount.
Okay, can we take a look at that?
Sure. Okay. So let me see what I have here. This is probably a good example here. This one's from a prior period back in February. Customer account's 524. So what I'll do is I'll issue full credit for this invoice in the current period. Okay, so we're working now in September. So our period of record is September. So we'll take this invoice, we'll issue full credit in this period, and then we'll just rebill it in this period.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so customer's 524. I'll do a new invoice. I'm sorry, not an invoice. I'll do a credit note. Accounts 524. And we're going to apply this directly to this invoice. Okay. 80631. Hit OK. And you want to let it come in, of course, in full. You'll see the tax value here is $26. We want to back this all the way out, almost as if you were voiding it.
Okay.
So it should be very quick, though. We're going to apply to the invoice number and let it credit out in full.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll save it. And, of course, we want to post this. Now, notice my dates are in the current period, so September. I'm going to post this. Okay. And then you can just rebill it, and you want to rebill it as of the current period as well.
Okay. Now, is there an easy way to rebill it, or do I have to go and hand key everything in for the invoice?
Okay. No, there actually is a little bit of an easier way. If you go to one of the inquiry screens, either by customer or by transaction, there's a copy button, and we can take a look at that.
Great.
Okay. Because I know it was the last transaction, I'll just come in here. Or actually, I'm sorry, that's probably not the easy way. We'll go in by customer, and I'll search for the customer account. Of course, if you know the exact invoice number, you can search for that one there. But okay, so here it is here. With the invoice highlighted, you can just hit copy, and it's going to bring the invoice back as it was initially created. Now, of course, this one's going to have tax.
Right.
So if you charge tax and it should have been exempt, you can just change the jurisdiction.
Okay.
Or vice versa. You may have not billed them tax and they should have been charged tax.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just go into the line items, make any changes. That one's actually exempt. Okay, so here's the tax jurisdiction. I'll make this exempt. All right, so now my tax value is 0. Now, one declaration I'll make: if this invoice had been voided, you could use the same invoice number.
Right.
Because this was a prior period invoice and we had to issue credit, we can reference the same invoice number, maybe with a -1 or an R.
Okay.
Okay, so you do have the ability to key into this invoice number field here to drive home an invoice number. Okay, and maybe with an R or something like that at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and then save and post just like you normally would. Okay, so just to recap, what you want, if it's in the current period, you can void it and rebill it quickly and easily. If it's in the prior period or any month before, issue full credit, and then you can rebill it. Issue the full credit in this current period and then just rebill it all in this period.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, you've answered them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, this was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward for more to come.